Um, Good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Fine, ma'am. What about you, ma'am?
I'm good. Thank you. Mhm. Is everyone here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Nawaz Muhammad Saad
Yes, ma'am.
present. Malik Saad Sohail.
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm. Ahmad Umair. Ahmad Umair.
Wait, ma'am. 5 minutes, ma'am. Is joining.
Ali Wakar. Ali Wakar, are you here? Hamza Amir. Hamza Amir. Hamza Amir absent. Yeah. Anwar Sikhar
Yes, ma'am.
present. Aslam Talha.
Ma'am, Tala Aslam is on leave, ma'am, because his relatives passed away, ma'am.
He's on what?
On leave, ma'am.
Ah,
Please, ma'am. Mark is present. Sorry.
mm, okay. And Ashti Ali. Ashti Ali.
And ma'am, also Omer Ahmad
And
is on leave,
Isha
ma'am, because he is not feeling well, ma'am. Omer Ahmad.
Amir Ahmad.
Yes, ma'am. Two students.
Tak, Ahmad Amir. Isha Ahmad. What about him?
I don't know, ma'am. Isha Ahmad.
He's not in your. Is
No,
he in your
no,
group?
no, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, in my group, ma'am.
But he doesn't attend the class. Yeah. Okay. Tak. Okay. 1, 2, 4, 4, 5. Amir Hamza. Yes. Amir Hamza. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, students. What was our previous topic? We have discussed it in our previous class. We have discussed about cardiac cycle, yes? Or we didn't discuss?
We did not, ma'am. Today we discuss cardiac cycle, ma'am.
Okay, today we'll discuss cardiac cycle. Okay. Ashti Ali has joined. Okay. Okay, let's start. Cardiac cycle. Yes, what is cardiac cycle? And how much is the duration of cardiac cycle? And what are the periods of cardiac cycle? Who knows? Yes, we'll start.
Ma'am, cardiac cycle is the performance of the human heart.
Mm, what
From
kind
the
of,
yes, ma'am.
what kind of performance?
Ma'am, the heart beginning of heartbeat from one to another, and periods. It consists of two periods, ma'am. One during the heart muscles relax and refilled with bloods.
Okay.
called diastole.
Heart muscles relax.
Yes, ma'am.
So, which muscles, which chambers? Okay. So, students, systole and diastole, yes. Cardiac cycle, it is a cardiac event that occur from the beginning of one heartbeat to the beginning of next, yes. And it consists of systole, one systole and one diastole. So what is systole, what is diastole? Have you, did you read this topic? And what is the duration of one cardiac cycle?
0.8 seconds.
Yes, we take average as 0.8, yes, to calculate, yes, to calculate it, too easy, for easy calculations. Okay.
Yes.
And systole and diastole, yes, how much is systole, how much is diastole?
Well, ma'am, diastole and systoles are two phases of the cardiac cycle.
Mm-hmm.
They occur as the heart beats, pumping blood through a system of blood vessels that carry blood to every part of the body. Systole occurs when the heart contracts to pump blood out, and diastole occurs when the heart relaxes after contraction.
Mm-hmm. By heart, you mean chambers, yes?
Yes.
So which chamber, contraction of which chamber you mean? By systole and diastole, we mean which chamber?
Ventricle?
Yes, ventricles, yes. This is related to ventricles. Yes, systole, it is contraction of ventricles, diastole and relaxation of ventricles, yes? Yes,
ma'am.
so how much is the systole and how much is diastole? Yes, total it is 0.8 seconds.
जानबूझ के नहीं हमें बता रहा क्योंकि अंदर तेरी फेसबुक जो खुली हुई है
What? Yes, students, 0.8 second, it is total duration of one cardiac cycle from beginning of systole and to the end of diastole, yes? Yes, it lasts for 0.8 seconds. It can be longer or it can be shorter. It depends on heart rate, yes? Students, duration of
ma'am.
cardiac cycle depends on heart rate.
Yes, ma'am.
If your heart rate increases, then how does change cardiac cycle?
तेरे फोन आ रहा है किसी का
What?
फोन आ रहा है किसी का किसका पता नहीं नाम नहीं देखा मैम को पता है नहीं वो बता सर 0.8 सेकंड वाला
how much this cost? Andy, let's see your answer.
What was that, students?
I think he forgot and his mic is on now.
Yes, look, students, how can we calculate cardiac cycle? We divide 60 seconds by your heart rate. Yes, so 60 seconds divided by 75, it is 0.8 seconds. So if your heart rate increases, for example, up to 100, yes, so 60 divided by 100, it will be how much?
0.6 seconds.
So yes, one cardiac cycle in this case, it is 0.6 seconds. Yes, it becomes shorter. Yes, if your heart rate increases, then each cardiac cycle becomes shorter. Yes, And opposite, if your heart rate decrease, for example, is still the 60 divided by 60, then it will be 1 second. Your heart rate, your cardiac cycle would be 1 second. It becomes longer. Yes. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
So from this
Ma'am.
0.8, this is average. Yes. How much is systole and how much is diastole? Yes. Diastole longer or systole?
Arterial or ventricular?
We mean, students, we mean only ventricles when we say the systole and diastole of heart, yes, of heart cardiac cycle. We mean only ventricles.
And 0.3 and 0.5.
Which one is 0.3?
And diastole.
Diastole is 0.3.
0.3 is systole, ma'am, and
Yes,
0.5
systole.
is
Mhm.
diastole.
Yes, here is systole, and it is, you can see in this picture also, it is shorter, yes, 0.6 or 0.3. And here, this is diastole, it is 0.5, yes. So heart spends more time in diastole.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Because what? Because you have increased absolutely refractory period, yes, during which cardiac doesn't generate new action potential, and that's why it doesn't contract again, yes. It
Yes,
just relaxes. Yes, this is due to increased absolutely refractory period. Okay, and each systole and diastole has its own periods. You know that?
Can you elaborate, ma'am?
Don't you know that?
No. Which period?
Systole consists of 2 periods. The isovolumic. Yes,
Ma'am, systole and diastole.
can you read this? Isovolumic or isovolumetric contraction. Can you read this? Is it shown clear in your screen?
Yes,
No,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes.
Not
yes, ma'am.
Isovolumic.
contraction.
Yes.
Yes, so this is first period of systole, isovolumetric contraction.
Okay, ma'am.
And second period, this is called ventricular ejection. So, do you know what kind of periods these are? Why we divide so? Yes. You can see in by the picture also, heart contracts, but there is no shortening of their length. Yes. All valves are closed and blood doesn't move to anywhere. In the second period, you can see that there is a shortening of the cardiac muscle fibers and opening of semilunar valves. Yes, aortic valve and pulmonary valve, they open, and that's why blood moves, yes, flows. So these two phases are different. They're different from each other. Why do we call isovolumetric contraction? What does iso mean? Yes, students, what does isovolumetric mean? Yes. What does ISO mean, students?
May I, ma'am?
It means not changing, constant.
Mhm. Who who wants to tell? Describe.
Well, ma'am, it when the ventricular volume does not change because all valves are closed during this phase.
Yes. ISO means doesn't change or the same. Yes.
Yes.
Same. ISO means same. Yes.
Mhm.
ISO means same. Same volume and same length. Yes. Same volume of blood and same length. Yes. Length of cardiac muscles. Because during this cardiac muscle contract but without shortening of their length, there is only increase in the tension.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so that's why volume remains the same and length remains the same. And that's why pressure rise up to how much? Pressure in this period can't rise maximum. It rises up to how much? What is the pressure in ventricles? Maximum pressure, or yes, the highest pressure in ventricles during systole. Yes, we are discussing now systole. Muhammad Saad.
120.
Yes, maximum pressure is 120. Yes, but during isovolumic contraction during this period, maximum pressure it is only 90, 80, and 90. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
because there is no shortening of cardiac muscle length. That's why pressure rises up to maximum 90. And this is not enough to cause opening of aortic and pulmonary valve. Yes, aortic. Yes, when we say about 90, this is we mean left ventricular pressure. Yes, in right ventricle pressure is much lower. Yes. Yes, students, how much is the pressure in the right ventricle? Maximum pressure in the right ventricle. Because yes, left and right side, they are different. Yes, different. One is low pressure side, another is high pressure side. From one starts pulmonary circulation, from another starts systemic circulation. Yes, that's why they are different, and pressure also is different.
Yes, ma'am.
How much is pressure in right ventricle?
70, ma'am.
No, 70, then it will be hypertension. Very
30, 60.
very high hypertension. Yes, 70, 60 also high hypertension.
Ma'am, 40, 30.
No, it's also hypertension.
25.
230.
Yes, maximum 25. Yes, 25.
Yes, ma'am.
It is in the right ventricle. Okay, so we are here only mean we are discussing left ventricular pressure. Okay, all about left ventricle in this picture. So during isovolumic contraction, pressure rises up to 90, and it is not enough to cause opening of aortic valve. Yes, and that's why all valves are closed in this period. And then next period, it is called ventricular ejection. This one. Yes, second phase. During this, there is shortening of cardiac muscle fibers. Yes, and
Yes.
pressure rises up to 120. Yes, maximum pressure 120, 130. Yes, and that's why there is opening of which valve? Yes, students. During ventricular ejection phase, there is opening of,
Aortic valve.
yes, aortic valve. And that's why blood is ejected. Yes, aortic and pulmonary valve, they open and there is ejection of blood from ventricles into aorta and pulmonary trunk. Yes,
Pulmonary valve. Yes, ma'am.
yes. Uh, and after that, yes, this is systole. After that begins diastole. Yes. So these two phases of systole. Please, who can repeat once more all about systole?
Systole.
Yes, I will clear this one. Yes, systole. What is systole and what are the periods of systole, duration of systole, and etc.
Ma'am, systole is the contraction of ventricles when the uh, 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 if both atriums contract, the blood flows uh, into the ventricles, and the cardiac muscles of the ventricles are relaxed, and there is the blood moves into the ventricles. The volume of the blood does not change; it stays the same. And
Relax or contract in this period?
ma'am, relax, ma'am.
No, we
First,
say about systole. Yes, systole.
when after that they contract and blood moves out. The
Yes. No, during isovolumic contraction, they contract,
Yes, ma'am.
but there is no shortening of their length, and that's why um, in what you can see, yes, they contract. Yes, they contract, but no shortening of their length.
Okay, ma'am. They contract, and after that, when the pressure increases, the pressure in right ventricle is 25 to 20 to 25 millimeter of
Mm-hmm,
mercury, and
mm-hmm.
the after contraction, the pressure in the left ventricle is 110 to 120 millimeter of mercury. And after this contraction, the aortic walls and pulmonary walls open, and the blood rushes out
Yes.
into the aorta and pulmonary trunk. And
How do you call this period?
ma'am, systole,
Yes, which period of systole?
um, uh, con, contract,
No,
contraction.
no.
Uh,
Second one, ejection. Yes, ventricular
yes,
ejection.
ventricular
First, this
ejection.
is isovolumic contraction. The second period of systole, it is ventricular ejection.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
student, and understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now about volumes. What is the volume of blood? What volume of blood contain it in ventricles? We discussed about pressures. Now about volumes. Each ventricle may contain how many blood?
Ma'am, during systole,
Um, no. When
last
they are fully filled. Yes, here.
fully.
In the isovolumic contraction, they are fully filled. Yes,
Ma'am, 140 milliliter.
140.
Yes, ma'am.
Average, we take how much? How many?
Ma'am, 140, that's all I know, ma'am.
Yes, students, about blood pressure also. Pressure can be from 100. No, let's write here. Blood pressure. Yes, it can be systolic can be 100, 140. Over diastolic can be 60 to 80. Yes. So these are averages. No, these are variations, but we take average is 100 over 80. Yes. So I'm asking this one. What is the average volume of blood in ventricles? Of course, it can be a bit higher. Yes, and
Ma'am, you're asking pressure or volume?
I'm asking volume of blood, average volume of blood.
Okay, ma'am.
Volume of blood that we use to discuss and calculate. Yes,
Ma'am, 70.
it is less. It is less. If ventricles contain only 70, then yes, it is very less.
One 120.
Yes, 120. Yes, we take average as 120 milliliters, 120, 130. Yes, 110. It can be varied, but we take average 120. Okay, ml. And yes, we can say that 120 it is here. Yes, in this picture it contains 120. And during ventricular ejection, during this period, how many blood ejected from
50.
ventricles? 50.
50. Yes.
If it is 50, we can say that there is systolic dysfunction of heart
Yes.
because it's
Yes.
less. It is less.
70.
Normal. Yes, 70 and more. Yes, we say 70 and more. So the volume which is ejected from each ventricle, it is around 70. And we call this volume how? How we call this volume of blood? Ejected volume. What?
Ejected. What's ma'am?
How do we call the volume of blood which is ejected from ventricles per one contraction? Yes, 70 is pumped from by each ventricles, and this volume is called, come on,
Stroke volume, ma'am.
yes, which is called stroke volume. Yes,
Ma'am, repeat the question, ma'am.
Okay.
yes, you have already answered. Yes, this is called stroke volume. Okay,
Yes.
so what is stroke volume?
The amount of blood pumped from the left ventricle with each heartbeat.
From left and from right ventricle. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And it means that ventricles are emptied, not fully. Yes. There was 120. Yes.
Yes.
70 is ejected, and remaining.
Remaining stays, ma'am.
How many remained?
50, ma'am.
Yes. So 120 minus 70, there will be 50 remaining. Yes. This volume of blood is called.
And systolic.
Yes, and systolic volume. Yes, ESV. Yes, at the end of systole, there is remaining 50 milliliter of blood. Okay,
Okay.
understood. Yes. Now this
Mm,
was about systole. Now, who can describe me periods of diastole? Pressure change, volume change. And we have also here
Yes,
I want to ask also, so students, wait, ejection fraction. Do you know what is ejection fraction? EF. Ejection fraction, do you know?
no, ma'am.
Mhm. Okay,
Ejection
start.
fraction.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Yes, you will. We will discuss about them later also in next class. So diastole. After systole, there will be diastole. Students, who will discuss me? Describe me diastole.
Um,
Who will try? Yes,
may I try?
try.
Ma'am, first,
Who?
I
Muhammad Saad or who?
Malik Saad, ma'am.
Malik Saad. Okay.
First, isovolumic relaxation, like
Mm-hmm.
in just cardiac muscles relax, but do
Mm-hmm.
not but the ventricles do not increase in size. Ma'am,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
the volume of the heart, the volume of the blood increases, ma'am.
Why it increases?
Ma'am,
Volume
because
of blood increases.
volume of blood increases, ma'am, because the valves open and the blood rush into the
Mm.
ventricle.
No, this happens during next phase, ventricular filling phase. But
Okay,
during isovolumic relaxation, there is no filling because valves are still closed. Yes,
okay,
uh, semilunar valves just close it at this yes. After systole, semilunar valves just closed
yes, ma'am.
due to pressure change. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
How much is pressure during isovolumic relaxation in ventricle?
Uh, or in the ventricle, ma'am.
Yes.
Uh, ma'am, during relaxation, ma'am.
Yes, during isovolumic relaxation.
Um, uh, 6-7 millimeter, maybe.
Yes, it decreases. Yes,
Yes,
but it is still higher than, oh, it is, yes, it is still higher than in atriums. That's why there is no opening of atrioventricular valves.
okay,
Yes,
ma'am.
it is around 10. Yes, it is around 10.
10.
That's why. Yes. Pressure in atriums, it is 4 to 6. Yes,
In
that's
atrium,
why.
it is 40, and in
How?
ventricle, it is 10.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That's
ma'am.
why atrioventricular valves, they cannot open at this period. So during this period, uh, yes, what happens? Closing of semilunar valves, yes,
Yes,
pressure decreases, but it is still higher than atriums. Okay, that's why valves, atrioventricular valves, they are closed, still closed.
yes, ma'am.
So all valves are closed in this period. There is no
Oh,
change in the volume of blood. Yes, iso means same, volume means volume of blood. Yes, same volume, same length of cardiac muscle fiber. They relax, but there is no elongation of their length. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And after that begins next ventricular filling phase.
Ventricular filling.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, the semilunar valves open and the blood.
No, not semilunar valves. No.
Oh, ma'am, ma'am, tricuspid valves.
Yes, tricuspid and bicuspid. Yes.
Yes, ma'am, tricuspid and bicuspid mitral valves. Ma'am, they open and blood move in and fill the ventricles.
Mm-hmm.
And at this time, the uh, blood volume increases and
Mm-hmm.
pressure decreases.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the ventricles fill up with blood.
Yes. So when pressure decreases because cardiac muscle fiber relax with elongation of their length. Yes. And
Yeah.
pressure decreases up to 3, 2, and even it can be 0. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it can be 0 in during this phase, and that's why there is opening of atrioventricular valve, mitral, and tricuspid valve. Yes, and blood rushes into ventricle. Yes, and fills with blood. And this was ventricular filling. At the end of this phase, there will be what?
Heart will.
Yes, at the end of this period, there will be atrial contraction.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, during ventricular filling, their ventricles are filled with 80% of blood, and when atrium contract, yes, so 20% of blood then is pumped into ventricles. Okay,
Okay.
now ventricles are fully filled with the blood. So in ventricles there was 50, yes, after systole there was 50 remaining, and also additional blood comes from during ventricular filling phase. Yes, and
Yes.
at the end of systole, sorry, at the end of diastole, there will be what? How many blood?
Ma'am, 120 milliliter.
Yes, again 120. Yes,
Yes.
so 70 milliliters flow. Yes, of blood flows from atriums
Ma'am,
into
and time period of ma'am this cycle.
cycle. Yes, this cycle we said yes. Diastole it is 0.5 seconds. Yes, 0.5 seconds.
Okay.
Systole it is 0.3 seconds.
Total 0.8 second, ma'am.
Yes, total 0.8. Yes. So
Okay.
end diastolic. What is end diastolic volume? ADC. Oh, ADV. ADV. EDV. What is end diastolic volume?
And diastole volume.
Yes.
120.
Yes, 120. 120. Yes. 50 plus 70. 70 it is filled, yes, from ventricles, from atriums into ventricles. And total there will be 120. This is,
Yes.
yes, at the end of diastole, it will be 120. Yes. And then begins again contraction, yes, systole. Isovolumic contraction. This causes a closure of tricuspid and bicuspid valve. Yes. Understood, students?
Understand.
Yes, ma'am. Хорошо.
Очень хорошо, да? Okay, then I have another pressure volume loop here. Can you see this picture?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Mm, do you know what is it?
Yes, ma'am.
This is again cardiac cycle, yes, but
Yes, ma'am. Subtract
within left ventricle, yes.
left ventricle volume.
Yes, at point C, yes, here starts contraction, yes, systole. It lasts till the F point, okay, till here. So we can divide like this. Upper part it is systole, lower part it is diastole. So can you, is it clear, students, this loop, pressure volume loop, or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm. Here, at which point there you will hear S1 hard sound, first hard sound, and S2, second hard sound. Anwar Sihar, are you here?
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm. Can you see the letters A, B, C, D, E, F?
Yes, ma'am.
So at which point there will be S1?
S1 phase.
S1, no, hard sound. S1 or lap sound, yes? When do we
Ma'am.
hear S1?
Okay.
S1.
Yes, see.
Again,
See.
at which
Yes, ma'am.
at which point here?
At point C.
C?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, at point C we hear
Yes.
yes. S2. What about S2?
At A.
Uh, at a point there is opening of mitral valve.
Opening of aortic valve.
We used to hear sound when there will be closure. Yes, closure. Not because
S2.
during
F.
F, yes, F point. Yes, here you see you hear S2.
S2.
So, yes, closure of at the end of no. Here is relaxation period. Yes, isovolumetric iso
Volumetric one.
relaxation. Yes. From A to B here there is feeling phase. From C to here this is isovolumetric contraction period. And from D to F there will be ejection period. Okay. So
Okay.
isovolumic relaxation, at the beginning of isovolumic relaxation, there will be closure of aortic valve, and we hear S2. And what about other sounds? Or is it all with hard sounds? How many sounds do we hear?
Two,
Open
ma'am.
and closes.
S1 and S2. Is there any S3, S4, S5?
No, ma'am.
No. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And normally we used to hear S1 and S2, but yes, there are S3, S4, yes, but we hear them very rare. Yes, we hear in old people's, if we hear that, it is usually pathological, S3 and S4. Okay. Okay, and what about murmurs? What do you know about murmurs? Heart murmurs. Murmurs.
Mhm.
Is it physiological sound or it
When
is
blood is
pathological?
pumped,
Again,
when blood is pumped,
when blood is pumped, you
yes,
hear murmur.
yes,
Is it physiological?
yes, ma'am. Sign of like uh, uh, are of various types and are important in injection of cardiac, and it can be a sign of heart diseases or defects.
Yes. So it is not physiological.
Yes,
Yes, in normal conditions, we don't hear murmurs. We hear only S1 and S2. Yes.
yes,
Murmurs, these are sounds between S1 and S2 or S2 and S1. Yes, between them. Yes, between S1 and S2 or S2 and S1. We hear murmurs, and these are pathological sounds caused by turbulent flow. Yes, turbulent blood flow within chambers. Um, yes, we have diastolic murmur and systolic murmur.
yes.
What is the reason of murmurs? What causes appearance of murmurs? Yes, someone said uh, uh, heart defects. Yes, heart defects.
Yes.
And what else? What else can cause murmurs?
And turbulent flow of blood.
Yes, this turbulent flow created by what? By which
Neck,
conditions?
walls,
Walls.
active walls of heart.
Yes, walls. Yes, it can be heart defect. Yes, it can be heart defect. It means there is a defect in the walls of chambers. Yes, there can be between atriums, or it can be between ventricles. Yes, defect, and this will create blood flow from high pressured side to low pressured side. Yes, from left side to side. Right side. Yes, and we hear these murmurs, or it can be due to valve disorders of valves. Yes, valvular dysfunction. So when they open or close not properly.
Yes.
Yes. For example, when they open not properly, it means there is narrowing of orifice. Yes, narrowing of their orifice, and blood flows through narrow opening of a valve. And of course, there will be turbulent flow, yes, created.
Yes.
And yes, it causes appearance of murmurs. And when it is called in it is medical term, it is stenosis. Yes, when they open not properly, we call stenosis of valve. For example, aortic stenosis, yes, or mitral stenosis, tricuspid stenosis, yes, like this. And when they close not properly, we call them how? How do we call when they close not properly? And when they close not properly, there is a backflow. Yes, backflow of blood. Yes, students, we have
Yes.
stenosis and we have in insufficiency. Yes, insufficiency. Yes, insufficiency. In this valvular dysfunction, there is valves close not properly and it leads to backflow of blood. For example, let's imagine that here is aortic valve insufficiency. During diastole of ventricles, blood flows back, yes, back into the ventricles. Yes, from aorta it will flow back into ventricles because aortic valve closed not properly. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Understood, students? Let's again repeat. What causes murmurs? Murmurs on the chest wall. On
Cardiac
the
and valvular pathologies.
repeat once more.
Cardiac and valvular pathologies, defect of heart and ventricle.
Valvular. And what type of valvular dysfunction? Deram? Yes, two types of valvular dysfunction. First, it is stenosis. Yes, students.
Yes.
Second one is
Stenosis,
stenosis. Yes, and second one
uh,
students, come on. First one, this is stenosis. Let's write clear.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
And second one, it is
Diastenosis.
no, insufficiency.
And
Yes, valvular insufficiency. Yes, in during which valve closed not properly and there will be backflow, and we call this regurgitation. Yes, regurgitation of blood. Yes. For example, we have. Let's imagine we have mitral stenosis. Students,
yes, ma'am.
let's imagine there is a mitral stenosis. So during mitral stenosis, murmurs appear during which cardiac cycle?
What, ma'am? Can you please repeat?
During mitral stenosis. What is mitral stenosis?
Ma'am, improper closing of the mitral valves.
No, I said stenosis, not insufficiency. Stenosis.
Ma'am, backflow of blood.
No, during insufficiency there will be, yes, and they close not properly.
Yes, ma'am.
narrowing.
But during stenosis there will what?
Ma'am, narrowing of the material valve.
During opening, yes, during
Opening,
their
ma'am.
opening. Yes, they don't open
Flow from the
properly.
left. Yes, ma'am.
So let's imagine that during mitral stenosis. You have yes, patient has a mitral stenosis, and for example, here where is tap contraction? Yes, here, yes. Let's imagine, yes, here is your mitral stenosis. And, okay, not here. Not here, yes. So when patient has a mitral stenosis, murmur appear during which cycle? During which period? Okay, students, mitral stenosis. Patient has a mitral stenosis. And when you hear by stethoscope, yes, chest wall, yes, heart. And you hear murmur during which cardiac cycle? Between which heart sounds?
Diastole.
Diastole. During diastole, you hear murmur. Are you sure? During mitral stenosis, yes, you hear murmur during diastole. Really?
बताओ कोई.
Mitral walls, they open not properly. Yes, narrowing of their orifice.
Yes, ma'am.
And you hear murmur.
Yes, ma'am. Murmuring sound.
When? At which period?
Ma'am, when the blood moves through mitral walls into the ventricle.
During which period this happens?
Ma'am, ventricular filling.
Yes, ventricular filling. It is period of?
Period of diastole.
Yes, period of diastole. Yes. You, Anwar Sihar, you were right. Yes, you hear during diastole. Yes, during diastole, during ventricular filling, and atrial contraction also. Yes. So you hear diastolic murmur. We call this diastolic murmur. Okay.
Okay.
And you can, by hearing only by stethoscope, you can make diagnose. Yes. And then you send to approve your diagnose. You send to which test?
Yes, ma'am.
To which test you will take from patient to approve your diagnose?
ECG.
On ECG, you see electrical activity, yes, and you can see on ECG only hypertrophy. If it is not acute, if it is what? If patient what? Old, yes, it was in this condition for a long time. There will be hypertrophy, and only this you can see in ECG. But correct?
MRI.
No.
I don't know.
Ultrasonography, yes. On ultrasonography, echo, we call echocardiography. There you can see what? Stenosis and turbulent flow.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Any questions from cardiac cycle?
No, ma'am.
Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And now about ECG. Yes, we have also we have to discuss about ECG.
No.
Yes, students, this is ECG, standard electrocardiogram, on which you can see electrical activity of heart. Yes, it shows electrical activity of heart.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever seen this ECG?
Yes, ma'am.
Real, yes, ECG, I mean, not picture. Not real.
Real? No, ma'am.
Haven't you seen? Really?
Ma'am, I
Okay, this is in standard ECG, there are how many leads?
What, ma'am?
how many?
Leads. How many leads? We call leads. Yes. This is a new term. Oh, sorry. I was not correct. Lead. Oi.
Ma'am, 3.
Three groups of leads, but total there are 12 leads.
12 leads. Okay.
12 leads, 6 from the limbs. You can see first, second, third. These are standard bipolar lead, and AVR, AVL, and AVF. These are augmented leads. So these 6 leads you take from the limb, and another here 6 leads, V1, V2, V3, V4, V5. You take from chest leads, chest electrodes, I mean.
Ma'am, first 6 from where, ma'am? Can you
From
please?
limb. Yes, from the limb. Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Here, to take an ECG, you apply electrodes, yes, on each limb. Yes, red one to right hand, yellow to the left hand, and green to the left foot. So these 3 electrodes, they give you 6 leads.
Yes, ma'am.
And
6 leads.
6.
Okay, ma'am.
And other 6 leads are taken by these chest electrodes. You apply these chest electrodes on what you can see, first intercostal space, yes, right to the sternum, left to the sternum, and then you apply 4 on the 5th intercostal space, and between them you apply 3, and then you apply 5 and 6. So these chest electrodes, they show horizontal surface. And from limb, they show vertical place of heart. Yes, and first standard leads. Yes, it will show the electrical activity between 2 electrodes. These are negative on the right hand and positive on the left hand. Okay, and on ECG, if a wave of depolarization, yes, it goes towards the positive electrode, you see positive wave like P. Okay, if it flows towards the negative electrode, then there will be negative and positive. You divide according to horizontal line here, students?
Yes,
Here
ma'am.
we have horizontal isola. So if wave is located above this line, you
It's
call positive. Yes, P, R, and T, they are positive.
okay, ma'am.
And negatives are
Q and S.
It's low.
Q and yes, Q and S. So it depends upon this, yes, where, in which
What
direction
about
depolarization. Okay, in which direction there is a depolarization, yes. If it is towards the positive, you can see positive wave, and if it is away from positive,
Horizontal.
positive electrode towards the negative, then you see negative waves.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, um, so from first standard ECG, it means that you show, you look at heart from this side, right side, from right to left side. Okay, it shows as if you are looking, yes, from
Left to right side.
yes, so from left to right side, because this one will register, yes, this uh, uh, what waves, electrical activity. In the second one, it means that you are looking from dark. Oh, no. I said not true. And look, not true. In first standard lead, you see dark. How it was. Lower inferior. Inferior. Wait, okay. I want to make it clear. Because, standard.
Ma'am, today practice class is over, ma'am.
No. Wait 1 minute. I want to.
Okay, ma'am.
Talk, please. Yes, in second semester we don't have interpretation of ECG. We just discuss basic things. I can't find. Okay, I found. No.
Ma'am,
Oh,
we will discuss in next class. ECT.
on next class, yes, students, on next class, we have last topic from cardiovascular system, and this is about regulation. So we will not have time for that, for ECG. Okay, here you can see in standard first leaf, it shows lateral wall, in second inferior wall, and in third inferior wall. Now lateral wall. Yes, on standard one, you see lateral wall. Yes, yes. It means that, yes, I said true. Yes, it means that as if you are looking from right, from left side, yes. And it shows lateral wall. And in the second standard leaf, as if you are looking from inferior part, yes, in inferior right part, yes, inferior right part. And here you see from inferior left part.
Left.
Yes. And on augmented leads, you can see on AVR there is no specific view. AVF lateral wall, inferior wall, dark lateral wall, and inferior. Dark. AVL. On AVL, you see inferior wall. On AVL, you see inferior. Why it is between them. And on AVR, there is no specific. And in AVL, AVF, there is lateral wall. On AVF, there is lateral wall. Okay. And yes, on ECG, we said, yes, we have waves. Yes, waves, positive and negative waves. We have segments. Do you know what is segment? Segment, these are part of ECG which lie on the isoelectric line. Here is, yes, portion of ECG which lie on isoelectric line. So we call this portion is a PQ segment. Yes, and another because it is between P and Q waves. And another segment, this is ST segment, yes, between S and T. And we have intervals. You can see these are part of ECG, which includes both wave and segments. Yes, Q2 interval, and here also PR interval, and we have also R interval between R and next R. And we have complex, yes, we have QRS complex. This is three waves together, we call complex. And that's all, yes. And so now how to relate these components to the cardiac cycle. Do you know what is depolarization? Depolarization. Why we say, yes, wrote here that there is a P wave shows atrial depolarization, ventricular depolarization, yes. And what is repolarization? Do you know this?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is depolarization?
Ma'am, depolarization is the electric charge distribution, resulting less negative charge inside the inside cell, ma'am.
Less, yes, it turns from less to, or from negative to positive, yes. when there is
Yes, ma'am.
from SA node, impulse reach the atrial muscles, for example, yes, it
नहीं
will
यार.
cause opening of sodium channels, sodium calcium channels, and these ions start to move into the cell, yes, and change inner from negative to positive. Yes, when cell membrane is charged from negative to positive, we call this depolarization. Yes, rising phase. Do you remember?
Yes, ma'am.
So at
Yes,
this
ma'am.
phase, yes, depolarization of atrial muscles, we can see SP
Oh,
wave,
Allah.
and then impulse reach from atrium, impulse reach the AV node. Yes, from SA node to AV node here. We see this as a PQ segment here. AV node is shown as PQ segment, okay? And then from AV node, impulse spread to the ventricles, and this is shown as QRS complex. QRS, Q it is interventricular septum depolarization, R it is depolarization of ventricles, and C it is a depolarization of lateral wall of ventricles. Yes, and after depolarization, there will be repolarization phase, and it is shown as T wave. And this cycle repeats. Okay, that's all, students. For the next class, students prepare regulation of cardiovascular system.
Okay, ma'am. Regulation of cardiovascular system.
Yes, humoral, nervous regulation, and
Kamal chup.
intrinsic.
Okay, ma'am.
That's all.
Okay, ma'am.
Class. Bye
Ma'am,
bye.
you're looking very beautiful, ma'am.
Thank you.